Hello, welcome to Penobscot Christian School. I'm Alison Hamilton, the head of school. We are a pre-K through 12th grade classical Christian school. We were founded in 1980, so this is our 40th year. Unfortunately, due to the COVID restrictions, we're not able to be in our school buildings at this time, but we are operating as a fully functional virtual school with remote learning taking place with our teachers and our students every day. Unfortunately, when we take you for a tour, it does look a little different around here without any students, but hopefully you'll see what our building looks like and what our classrooms look like. The first rooms we're going to look at are our preschool rooms. We have two preschool classrooms. We have our caterpillars with our 3-year-olds, and we have our butterflies, our 4-year-olds, and where they're working to get ready for kindergarten. Mrs. Small is our head of preschool and she works very hard with our students at this level. As a classical school in the grammar stage, they have to learn lots of memorization, lots of recitation, lots of singing. So every day when you walk by the preschool, you see and hear lots of those things happening. As we move on to our kindergarten room, Mrs. Dumoulin is our kindergarten teacher. Here, this is where they learn to do their reading, their early reading, and they have lots of daily activities, reading, letters and sounds, phonics, math, early numbers. Lots and lots of activities take place every day in our kindergarten room, and again, lots of singing, lots of recitation, lots of memory work. We'll move on down the hallway, and this is where we have into our gym, and this is where we have our weekly chapel. Every Wednesday our chapel takes place. We have 28 different churches represented within our school community, and different members, different pastors and different members of the churches help us with our chapel each week. We also have Monday morning weekly assemblies where the students learn to discuss things like what's wrong with this picture, where they have to identify biblical truths, and they also learn our core values. Our gym's also very busy in the soccer and the basketball seasons. We have soccer in the fall and basketball in the winter for 4th grade through 12th grade. So our gym is very busy in the winter with our middle school and high school basketball teams. Our gym's also used for indoor recess. We like to have our students outside as much as possible for recess, but obviously this is Maine, and so sometimes the recess needs to be indoors. And this is moving over into the corner over here. This is our 2nd grade classroom, and Mrs. Ames is our 2nd grade teacher. This is where they do most of their really concentrated learning skills for reading, early math, and we use Becca as our curriculum for kindergarten through 2nd grade for all our phonics and math. The next classroom along in the middle here is our 3rd grade classroom.
Hello, my name is Jackie Schmidt. I am the 3rd grade teacher here at Penobscot Christian, as well as head of the lower school. Now, as a 3rd grade teacher, I really like my age group. We are a classical school, so a lot of 3rd grade is tapping into their extraordinary ability to memorize. They need to memorize their multiplication facts, and we start memorizing Latin, and obviously they can memorize literally chapters of the Bible. They are really good at it, and it's not even hard for them. As head of the lower school, I am responsible for curriculum instruction and school culture, largely. And school culture is like, who are we? What kind of people are we? And it's a very challenging thing to direct around 100 kids to go in the same direction. But one thing about Penobscot Christian that sets us apart is we are a parent-run school. The parents here at Penobscot Christian have committed to go in the same direction. If you want a place where your child is nurtured spiritually, challenged academically, and consistently called up into who they are in Christ, then this is a good place for you. I'm sorry that we have to meet virtually, but I look forward to meeting you in person.
Okay, moving into the corner over here, this is our 1st grade classroom. Mrs. Kelly is our 1st grade teacher. This is a very busy room where they're beginning to develop their reading skills and their early math skills. Lots of phonics. Again, as I said, we use a Becker. We also introduce our history program at first grade, so we have Story of the World. This program we use first through fourth grade, 4 separate years of history, and then we add to that, and in the 5th through 8th grade they repeat the same 4 years, but because this is following a classical model, they learn all the memorization and facts in the earlier grades, and then in the mid-logic school they add more detail and they are starting to ask all the questions why and reasoning for everything. And so that's developed in those grades. And then in our rhetoric school, our high school, 9 through 12, then they develop those skills even further. They do more research, more in-depth study in those areas of history, and they learn to articulate and reason and give their opinion. And our hope is that they will be able to develop their own opinions and really be able to say well what they believe and be really solidly grounded in the things that they believe and that they've learned. So leaving Mrs. Kelly's room, we cross the gym to the resource room. We have the opportunity to offer additional help to students. If any particular student is struggling and just maybe weaker in one area like math or reading, or they're an early reader and it's taking them a little bit, they need a little bit extra help. We have a staff member that works one-on-one with those students, and we're able to give them direct instruction from the teacher, and then they can go and build those skills individually. So that's a really big program that we can offer families within the school. As we come by the gym, we go past the kitchen. We don't offer hot lunches, but we do, so our students do bring a packed lunch every day, but we do have our wonderful parent-teacher fellowship that provides snacks and pizza and drinks and opportunities for students to supplement their lunches. The PTF does a lot of work within the school. This is the way in which, as a parent-run school, you're able to help. It might be providing supplies for the classroom, it might be driving, it might be a birthday cake for a teacher. There's many numbers of ways in which parents can help serve the school and support the staff. So now we're going to move upstairs. Upstairs we have our 4th, 5th and 6th grade classrooms. As we go along the hallway, the first classroom is our 5th grade classroom. Mrs. Pellerin is the teacher here. As you can see, this is a large, very busy room with lots of activity. And then as we move across the hall, we go to the 4th grade classroom. I have to say this is one of my favourite rooms in the building. If you look on the back wall in this 4th grade classroom where Mrs. Hahn is the teacher, on the 4th grade wall, on the back wall, you'll see a bunch of hands painted. This used to be the art room, and I always smile when I come in here because on that wall there are all 4 hands of my children. My children all graduated 8th grade here, so they're all on the wall there. So it always makes me smile when I come in this 4th grade room. So across the hall we have a number of specials. We offer PE once a week in the gym, we offer art, we offer music, we offer computer, and so this is our computer lab where the students can come and have their computer class. They also use it for research projects and class writing projects. We do have a history and science fair every year, so they do have a lot of research for working for those and preparing for those, and that all takes place here in the computer lab. Our other classroom up here is our 6th grade classroom. The 4th, 5th and 6th grade all up here have Shirley English for their grammar program. They have BJU Science. They have CSI Bible. We also use Story of the World for our history program. And then all of the literature that the students read in each of the classrooms is directly related to the history period that they're studying. So they'll read general literature, but also very specific ones that align with the history. Up here then, that leaves our final room. This is our art and library. All our students get to come to the library as well as coming to art class. And this room also is a very busy space because this also duplicates as our aftercare room. We do offer aftercare from 3 to 5 every day. And so if parents have work schedules or are just running late one day and not able to get here on time, then they are able to use this space 3 till 5 every day. So this is our upper school campus where we have 7th through 12th grade. It's a little smaller, but it meets our needs. We just purchased this building a year ago. So as we enter in, you'll see our office, where our office manager will be, and she's always extremely helpful. And we go right through the office to our computer lab. We have a very small computer lab over here, but it's available to the students for all of their subjects. They all have research, they all have the science and history fair, they all have classwork that they do in here. And we also have our seniors do a senior thesis, so they have the opportunity to do some of their research here. So moving through into our large open space, as you can see, this space is bigger, and we have the ability to make it even larger with the temporary walls. And so this is our area where we have chapel and our announcements every week. We have local pastors come in and give chapel for our upper school. This also space doubles up. It has a Spanish class, it has geometry, pre-algebra, Bible, and even an anatomy class that I teach. Moving along then into this smaller classroom to the left, this is Mr. Barbelius's room, and all of our teachers teach multiple subjects and multiple grades. So in here we have statistics, we have physics, we have literature, rhetoric, and history. And then we have one larger classroom at the back. We'll move around to the far side of the building, and this is Mr. Hyatt's classroom.
Hi, my name is Joshua Hyatt. I am a teacher at Penobscot Christian School. I teach U.S. history, American literature, rhetoric, ancient history. I have taught logic as well. On top of being a teacher at Penobscot Christian School, I am also the head of upper school, which includes logic school, which is grades 7 and 8, and rhetoric school, which is grades 9 through 12. What makes logic and rhetoric school different from other schools is our approach to education. In the logic school, we challenge the kids to begin to ask the questions why events happened. In the rhetoric school, we step up a notch, and they begin to come up with their own arguments, begin to look at, what would they have done in this situation? How does this apply to now? Is there anything today that mirrors this situation that they could foresee in the future? So they're really taking those whys that they've already learned and really applying it to real world problems and trying to come up with the solutions themselves. One other piece that makes classical education different on a whole is this idea of coupling history with literature. In essence, this also helps them to defend their faith, helps them become productive citizens in defending big questions and coming up with solutions, which all culminates in their senior thesis, which they tackle a world problem and they try to come up with a solution with it, and they then defend that solution. I believe that this will produce more productive citizens and produce citizens that think, not just remember information.
So moving downstairs we have two additional classrooms. We have our art room and our science lab. So here, as you can see, as we walk into this room, this is a really beautiful, colourful, fun room, and this is our art room. Also, as you can see, there's a medieval theme in this room, and this is where Mrs. Sutherland teaches ancient and medieval literature. She teaches English and Latin as well as high school art in this classroom. Our final classroom in the back over here, this is our science lab. Mrs. Stilianardi teaches physical and general science to the 7th and 8th graders, and she teaches biology to the high school. We also have a geometry class and a health class and a personal finance class and even a logic class in this classroom. So as you can see, we have many subjects and they're all taught in different spaces by different teachers for the students. And all 7th through 12th grade vary and move around the building depending on the classroom. So that's pretty much our upper school building. If you have any questions, please call 207-947-2704 or email me directly at headmaster@penobscotchristian.org, and we'd be very happy to answer any questions that you have. If you need additional information, please check out our website, penobscotchristian.org, where you will find all of the information about tuition and applications. Thank you.